Welcome to Worldwide TV. I'm your host, Alyssa Rockel. We have a jam-packed show for you today, showing you what's up for auction and everything you need to know to be able to take something home. We have on the auction block an amazing Packard collection from a museum in Florida. We'll show you all about it. Plus, how to bid if you're at home, or what happens if you come to the auction here in Auburn. So, let's get started. We're here with John Kruse, the principal and auctioneer at Worldwide Auctioneers. John, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, it is fantastic to be here. Thanks for having me.
So it's an exciting time going on right now in Auburn. Explain why Auburn is so special that we're here right now.
Well, that is a wonderful topic, one that I'm quite passionate about, and I think that that is the key, and that is passion. And particularly for people who love history, who love art, who love architecture, and of course, love cars. And Auburn has been a famous town for decades, way before World War II, when E.L. Cord came to town and built the first phase of his empire of businesses. And I like to tell folks, when it comes to Auburn, Indiana, the cornerstone is the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Automobile Museum. And I've been able to be a trustee there for a period of time, and my father and some of our family members have certainly been close to that organization. It's a great place. I think the cornerstone, because that's where it all started. Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, to this day, when I walk into that showroom with the terrazzo floors and just thinking of everything that happened there, it gives me chills. And it is unbelievable, the feeling that you get when you're in there. And of course, the people, I love people, and I think it's fantastic that this town has historically been able to bring so many people together from across the world. There are few places you can go in the world where you will not find somebody that's been to Auburn, that's familiar with Auburn, and that makes it special. And I think that everyone who's been here has felt the special nature, and sometimes they're not sure what that is, but I'll tell you what it is. It's magic. And Auburn has, at Labor Day weekend, has historically been, I think, one of the pinnacles of the car hobby and the car community. And there's not a whole lot of places where you can have that feeling. We have the wonderful world of Disney, a magical place. We have the Pebble Beach events that take place every year, which are quite magical. And we have Auburn, Indiana. And I absolutely love this town. I love everything about it. I love everything about this weekend, and getting to meet and greet all of our friends from around the country and enjoy these cars together is really special.
And it really is a magical energy in the air when you're walking around with all the car enthusiasts and seeing all the cars lining the streets even. Last year, because of the pandemic, the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Festival was canceled. It's back this year. How special is that? Why is that such a big deal to have that back?
Well, we were able to actually safely conduct our auction last year, and we did invite some people out, but it was different. And I think that this year, the ability for many of us to gather together and rekindle and re-experience a lot of the things that we have in the past, coupled with, we have had auctions here for a long time as Worldwide Auctioneers. 2008 was our first one. Of course, I've been going to Labor Day auctions now for 41 years, and we have some spectacular cars, some of which the type we've not seen here in Auburn for about 25 years. So the fact that we're getting back together and all the events are taking place, but also that we as Worldwide have brought cars here that, again, we have not seen for 20, 25 years, is gonna make that work, because it's both. It's the cars and the people. And this year we've got them both, and it's gonna be a fantastic weekend. And we hope everybody is gonna follow along on Worldwide TV as we bring it to them, or it's not too late. You can still get yourself here and participate in all the wonderful events.
Yeah. Give us a little bit of history of our auction.
So we being Rod Egan, my business partner, and I, we founded Worldwide Auctioneers now 20 years ago. And of course, my family, the Kruse family, who had their first auction here in Auburn in 1971, I grew up being able to have the opportunity to work there, and Rod actually worked there. We both were part of the transaction when eBay came in and bought the family business, so to speak, and so we were able to participate through that. And then we decided to start our own sale. So a lot of people remember south of Auburn, right on I-69, out in the middle of a cornfield, there's a gigantic white tent. And so we had our first sale in Auburn in 2008, and the highlight was that we sold a 1959 Ferrari 410 Super America for $2.5 million. And we had that first taste of big time sports cars that we brought back. And as we were able to continue to grow, and of course it was a challenging time right after that, RM came to town, which I appreciate them being here the last number of years. The more the merrier. I think it's great. And it sounds like perhaps they may not stay here long term, but we are. And so I think the future is very bright. I believe we're going to be able to build on the over 50 years of experiences that folks have had, and we are committed to making Auburn a highlight on the collector car calendar and the collector car auction calendar for decades into the future.
Yeah. What are you most excited about this year's auction? You mentioned some really special cars.
I think when I look back at being a much younger child and going to the auction, and even now if you go back and look at some of the brochures and catalogs, there were a lot of pre-war American classics, Duesenbergs, Packards, Cadillacs, but there were also a lot of other pre-war American giants like Alfa and Bugatti and so on and so forth. And this year we've been able to bring some of those back. We have some special American cars, our Duesenbergs, Packards, Cadillacs, Auburns, Cords, but we also have some other not so often seen American classics like a DuPont. And we've brought back some of these European classics, Asada Fraschini, Bugatti, and those are cars we just haven't seen here for a long time. And the Carroll Shelby's personal Daytona Coupe, which is a 7-figure sports and racing car. You're like, man, how are these cars in Auburn, Indiana? Well, they used to be, and now they're back. And we're seeing global interaction from our buyer base. And so I think just the fact that we have some of those European classics and sports and racing cars in this auction is a testament to Auburn's history, but also it's a testament to the reality that it is relevant on all levels and across all types of cars from a market standpoint, where we're going to sell these cars right here in Auburn.
It's really cool. I mean, it's a walk through history, walking through this showroom. Awesome.
It's great. It's a blast.
John, thank you so much for all the wonderful stories, and we're all excited about this year's auction. Don't forget, today is day one of the auction. It starts at noon Eastern with the memorabilia. Then at 4 o'clock will be the automobiles. So keep it right here on Worldwide TV. I'm here with John Kruse and Rod Egan, and we're going to show you exactly what will happen when you come out to the auction. We're going to walk you through how it all works. So we're starting outside. So what happens?
Well, when you roll onto campus, we've got huge parking areas. Everyone will see the big, huge American flag right behind us, and it's pretty simple. You're walking in here, and then you're going to go over here to the right, which takes you into Worldwide Auctioneers.
Follow the signs and flags.
Yes.
Pretty easy.
Pretty easy.
All right, let's check it out. All right, so we walk in the doors. Where do we go?
Follow me. We're going to
Got
walk
it.
this way, and we'll meet everybody working at bidder registration. Very simple process as we all come in. We're going to see Abby, Blake, Brian, the entire bidder registration team is in here now. Really simple when you walk in. Couple of easy forms that you're going to fill out here. Everybody's going to get you set up as a registered bidder. The process is very, very easy. And then from here, you simply walk out to what matters, the cars.
Can you pre-register also?
You can pre-register. You can do that online, worldwideauctioneers.com. You can pre-register to bid. We'll have a pre-registered bidder package all set up for you. It makes it very simple. If you don't like lineups, I would definitely suggest doing it.
Love making it easy. All right, let's see the cars.
Yes. So for people like me, this is where it starts, your whole kid in a candy store deal. If you are a car person at all, this is where you want to be. So there's some killer stuff here, and there's a great array, a little bit of something for everybody. So you've got sports and racing GT cars here, like this Shelby Daytona. You've got cars like this Cord, one of the early front-wheel drive cars. If you like the pre-war stuff, we've got modified Ford V8 Woody. So if you're into resto mods, this is a fantastic car. You go back to something that's largely original like this Mercury. And if you really want to get out there, you get into something like this Bugatti.
Ooh.
Type 57 Adelant, one of the greatest cars ever built in the world. You can never go wrong when you buy the best.
This is a cool model too.
Yeah, very cool. Ventu coachwork, Tuaro, which is the roll top body. So very, very rare. And a great car.
Yeah. So much to see here in the salon. Really something for everyone.
There is, and we have most of the cars offered without reserve, selling to the highest bidder regardless of price. So it is an opportunity not just to come and look, but to actually bid, buy, and take it home to your garage.
Yeah.
Now, the cars are absolutely amazing, but there's tons of memorabilia here too. Talk about what is available there.
Well, we launched our memorabilia division here a couple of years ago, and one of the reasons was that everybody that has cool cars also likes cool stuff. And so we have been super fortunate to have an incredible array of signs, porcelain, neon, bronzes. We have some fun mini bikes and just a lot of unique pieces that you don't normally see, that it's neat to have something that other people don't.
Yeah. Well, if you buy one of these cars, you've got to decorate where they live, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it fits perfect into the car guy culture. I collect stuff, lots of stuff, and there is great stuff here to hang in your car barn, your museum, wherever you keep your stuff.
Yeah. So we go through the salon to get to the auction floor, right?
We do, yes.
Yeah.
So we want everyone to be able to see basically all the cars and all the memorabilia as they're rolling in. And we've got a lot of iPad tablets, so you can look up some more history. Certainly you can pull out your smartphone and look that up, but we want everyone to be able to access the information as they're looking at these cars, so they know exactly what they're dealing with.
Yeah. How many cars do we have up for auction this weekend?
Total's about 120,
Okay.
give or take, total. So we'll do the Packard collection Friday night, 31 of them, Friday evening, and then day 2 we'll roll into all the great goodies that you're looking at right here.
Yeah, love it. Should we head over to the auction floor?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Do it.
So as we're walking to the auction block, we get to walk by all that really cool memorabilia.
Absolutely. We've got a lot. And there's also in the memorabilia department, there is something for everyone. And we love the way our facility's set up, where we can actually display a lot of it up on the walls, get up close and personal, see it displayed. It's a really neat way to preview memorabilia.
Yeah, I even saw a jukebox over there.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Cool. Okay, we have made it to where the magic happens.
Yes.
Talk about what happens here.
So you can see everybody, they're setting everything up here now. Here's the seating area here, and what you'll see is starting from this side is the telephone and computer areas for online and telephone bidding. So we literally have people from all over the world that will be either logged in or on telephones with our representatives bidding on all the items. So even the memorabilia as well as all the cars. And they'll be sitting there, and then you get to see, of course, the podium where myself and Charlie will be as the auctioneers, and the stars, which are the cars, are there on the stage. They'll come in, exit through there, and each time we get a new happy buyer, a new owner.
Awesome. It's exciting times. All right, thank you guys for showing us the ropes,
Yes.
showing us where to go. Don't forget the memorabilia auction is at noon Eastern and 4 p.m. starts the automobile, so keep it right here on Worldwide TV. We're back with Brian Souers, the General Manager and Director of Client Services for Worldwide Auctioneers. Thanks for joining us, Brian.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Now, you have a really cool story about cars. How did you get so passionate about classic cars?
Yeah, so like probably many other in this world, I just grew up around them. And so my father and grandfather, his siblings were around Hudsons just from a really early age. My grandparents actually coordinated Hudson meets in Warren, Indiana, just about 30 miles south of here. And those were our vacations growing up. It sounds, my friends were going to Disney World and Clearwater, and we were going to Hudson meets, AMC meets. I probably didn't appreciate it then as much, but growing up, I can see the attraction to it and just the history and the fun. We were all together as a family. We might not see some of these people for years, but once a year they're in Warren, Indiana, looking at cool cars and sharing a meal together. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I got into it, yeah.
What is so cool about these cars to you? What kind of emotions do they bring out?
Yeah, so it's the story, really, I think, right? Some of the stuff that's on my list that I'd love to have someday were just posters on my wall in elementary school, right? And some of the cool supercars, the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis. And then you kind of mature, get a little bit older. I see why my dad's into some of the stuff that he's in, and just learning, where did the car come from? Who owned it, the designers behind it. Those guys were artists in their time, drawing and sketching the cars out on paper, molding them into clay and bringing them to life. So really the history, as I've kind of matured and been around the cars, is what gets me excited. And then as Director of Client Services and General Manager here, what better job to have? I get to hang around with guys and just hear about why they love this certain car, or their father had this car, or again, they share the experience with their family, most of them, and that just connects to me and makes it really fun and enjoyable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell us how you came to Worldwide Auctioneers.
Yeah, so I've been a spectator of Worldwide Auctioneers since the very beginning, with my father knowing John, selling some cars here through Worldwide, coming to visit the auctions as a young kid as well, and just grew up as a fan, never really understanding the behind the scenes, all that went into it. We'd just show up, look at the cool cars, take a bunch of pictures and go home. But my path crossed with John again in the past couple years, just in some other kind of business dealings. I grew up in the finance world here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and we just were chatting, and I was like, man, we should probably work together sometime, because what you're doing is really cool, and I think I could add some value and make the experience even better for our clients. So couple conversations later, and as of the beginning of August, here I am. And I'm having a blast, and I think immediately we're raising the bar on each auction that we do.
Yeah. So speaking of that client experience, what are you working to make that experience like?
Yeah, I think being interactive, right? So the world got flipped upside down a couple years ago. We're changing some behaviors of how we're looking at cars. So digital is huge. But it's a sentimental hobby, so you want to get your collectors in with the cars, opening the doors and hearing them and listening to them. So we're doing a lot of media, we're doing a lot of video, and then we just pay extra attention again to those stories, right? So we want to greet you at the door, walk you through. Our specialists are fantastic about spending time with our consigners as well as our buyers to just really get to know them, because this is a relationship for us. We're not just putting people through the door and kicking them out. We're building that relationship so we can continue to grow with them over years as their collection grows, or sometimes their collection shrinks. So really just that relationship, and then giving them access to the cars in ways that they haven't seen before.
Yeah. And people have great access online, but why would you encourage someone to actually come to Auburn to the auction?
Yeah, I mean, we can take all the photos in the world, we can put in cameras, and you can check out the interiors, but when you hear the engine fire up, or you've shut the door on a 30 Packard and it's just steel on steel, right? And you just get to interact with them. I think it just gets the blood pumping in a way that that unfortunately online and technology just can't match. So, and you get the attention that we give to our in-person bidders, and just get that full experience, because it really is an experience from the second you walk in the doors until the lights go up and the hammer hits. So it's just fun to be here.
The classic car chills, right?
It really is. It's kind of
Yeah.
like show business on Friday and Saturday, when the lights go up, and it's just a great time.
So what's your favorite car at the auction this year?
My favorite car is probably the dual Ghia. It's just classy. It's got some Frank Sinatra history to it, which is cool. And that 54 era is
Yeah.
really neat. My father collected Hudson Italias and still has a couple. And so some of the same hands that were behind the dual Ghia had some influence in Italy for the Hudson Italia as well. So it just kind of hits all the right boxes for me. But my father probably influenced that from a pretty early age. So.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite car here right now.
That story connection.
It does, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny, at my age now, I think back to the conversations we had 20, 30 years ago that probably set the bar for why I would end up liking that car today.
Yeah, very cool. Brian, thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Absolutely.
And don't forget, day one happening now, noon Eastern time, when the memorabilia auction starts, and at 4 p.m. will be the automobiles.
Absolutely.
You're watching day one of Worldwide TV. Don't forget, the memorabilia auction starts today at noon Eastern, followed by the automobiles at 4 o'clock. And we're back now with John once again, and we're talking about a really cool collection that you have at the auction this year. It's from the Fort Lauderdale Antique Car Museum. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, there was a gentleman who many years ago was able to sell some of his businesses, and he decided that his love of Packards and his love of Fort Lauderdale, Florida would lead him to create what we have known now for many years as the Fort Lauderdale Antique Car Museum. And it is a beautiful facility. It's got that Dade County pine, which all you down in that part of Florida are familiar with. Gorgeous facility and a perfect backdrop for his Packard collection. And so he's got everything ranging from 1909 all the way to some post-World War II cars, and almost a representation of every single year. And it's really cool to watch the history of Packard as they evolved and as the marketplace evolved. But Mr. Stone passed away here a few years ago, and so that has led to the decision of those involved to sell the cars. And so we're certainly honored to have been entrusted with that. And of course, all the cars are selling, no reserve, absolute to the highest bidder, regardless of price. And so that means that there might be some deals, and every one of these cars is going to sell. So it is a special opportunity. Generally speaking, museums don't sell, that often. And so they're great. We can all go look at them, but we can't buy them. And today, we can buy them all. And so we hope everybody participates. If you're not already here and you're watching, you can still bid online or call and bid on the phone. And so it's an exciting day for collectors to have a shot to get these cars.
Yeah, and you said that they're all no reserve. Why is that such a big deal?
Well, it's a big deal because not only is it a chance to buy something, it's a chance to buy something for whatever you want to pay. And some auctions have reserves where a seller has a minimum amount that they just are not willing to sell it for. But oftentimes, and that is the case with this entire collection, with most of the cars we're selling here this weekend, where there is no minimum. And so that's an exciting thing. You get to decide. We all love Disney, but we know when we go, the ticket cost X.
Right.
What if we could go and be like, well, hey, maybe the tickets could be whatever we want to pay today, and there's only one of us is getting in, and whichever one of us bids the most gets the ticket. And depending on the day, I might get a deal, or you may have a pocket full of money, and it doesn't matter how much I want to pay, you'll get it. So it's an exciting experience, and there's an emotion to a live auction that you just don't get anywhere else.
Now, tell us a little bit about the specific car highlights in this collection.
Well, I think that my personal favorite is a little bit fun and funky because you don't see it, but there's actually a Packard tow truck.
Whoa.
And hopefully we can go look at it here in a minute, but it's just, I've never seen another one like it, and it's unique. The second car that I really like, I love the piano. I like to play the piano. And the Kimball Company, which made pianos, made a special one-of-a-kind body on a Packard Twin 6. We call it the lady car. It is gorgeous. I mean, the opulence of its accoutrements are just oozing all over the place. You know, there's furs in the back, and
Ooh.
It is just a luxurious car, and it's the only one in the world. And the Twin 6 Packard, of course, is a special car. They're fantastic to tour or drive in, and I think that it's a neat opportunity to not just buy a Packard and not just buy one of Mr. Stone's from the museum, but it's the only one, and you can have something that nobody else gets to have.
I'm looking forward to seeing that one for sure. If someone is not here with us in Auburn, which we want them to come down, there's still time to come join us here, but how can somebody bid online?
You just go to worldwideauctioneers.com, click register to bid. It's very simple. Our team is here on site to help process that, and it takes maybe 2 minutes, and you can get approved, and you can actually bid online from your smart tablet or desktop, whatever you want to do, even your smartphone. Or you can certainly get set up and we can call you and you can bid on the telephone, whichever you'd be most comfortable doing. So you can still register to bid and buy one of these great cars today.
Sounds great. All right, John, let's go check out those Packards.
Let's do it.
All right, we are in the middle of car heaven here with the Fort Lauderdale Antique Car Museum collection. So let's take a look at some of these amazing cars. What do we got here first?
Let's do it. So this is the car we talked about. This is the only one in the world. Kimball, the piano company, made a special one-off body for Packard, and it is absolutely decadent.
Those seats back there.
I mean,
oh my goodness.
You look at the attention to detail, the amount of time to create a masterpiece like this. And of course, this car would have been used by probably a wealthy socialite throughout its early career. Most likely would have been chauffeur driven. And as you can see, there's some special nice little fur blankets in the back. And it just, the detail just goes on. And of course, the mighty Twin 6, most people, and we'll just show you real quick while we're here, this is 2 sets of 6 cylinders or 12 cylinders.
Okay.
And a lot of you, of course, watching know this, but if you don't, I mean, this is super impressive. There are not a whole lot of 12-cylinder cars floating around these days, and to think that they had them this long ago is one reason why these Twin 6 cars are so special. Of course, this car is selling at no reserve to the highest bidder regardless of price.
Yeah.
And it is one of 5 Twin 6 cars that are part of the collection. So it's a really neat chance to have a shot. If maybe you don't get this one, you have another one you could buy. So if you want a Twin 6,
Yeah.
this is the place to be.
Can I add a chauffeur to this one?
Well, for a small fee.
For
of
no
course.
reserve? Okay,
Well,
we'll work it out.
Check on that.
All right, so we have some more Twin 6s though.
We do, and I'll just point out too, as we're walking by, off to your right is our document station. And so Mr. Stone and the museum, they kept a lot of paperwork. And so folks are not just here to come look at the car. You can look at a lot of the history and a lot of his notes about it, which is a neat thing. And I personally have a love for the classic era of this, you know, kind of late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
So we've got the dual cowls. And then one thing that people don't think about today, most cars are so similar. It's kind of boring. They even look similar. And when you go back, this is a 1909.
Wow.
And the amount of fun, you got to try this real quick. Just hop up in here real quick. You got a little handle here.
Where's the handle? Oh, right here.
Yep,
okay,
right
good.
here.
I wore my car shoes. Good
That's
thing.
perfect.
They're
That's
3
perfect.
inches high.
Now just feel.
This seat and the
It's incredible.
Yes.
It's comfortable.
Does
but
the
this
horn work?
thing, you could try it. I'm not sure which one. Sort of.
I might need to practice that one.
tried.
It's okay.
But
wow.
this car is so much fun to drive. I mean, it's just you in the open road.
Oh my goodness.
And this thing will go pretty quick.
Yeah.
Very quick.
So fun.
The driving experience, you go from, yeah, I'm in the back and all this luxury and I got a chauffeur, to up here where this is an original American sports car.
Oh, wow.
This is cool, right?
You feel like you're sitting in history right now.
Oh, it's great.
It's amazing.
It's great. It's fantastic. And if somebody was super cool today, they might drive a Porsche. Do you know anybody that drives a Porsche?
I know some people.
So this would be like, hey, if you were super cool and you wanted a cool sports car, this is probably what you'd have back in 1909. And it's a Packard. Everybody loves a Packard.
Right. And like you said, they don't all look like the same cookie cutter here. I will let you help me down. Thank you. But each Packard, you can tell it's a Packard, but they're not just like boom, 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 exactly the same car.
Yep. They are unique. So we had the twin sixes, which we referenced, which are neat. Then, I think this is a neat piece in that it's a bare chassis and engine. Of course, in this era, this is how the cars were built. And then either the in-house body department or they would ship them off to a custom coach builder would actually do the body. So it's neat to be able to see what is actually moving these vehicles. And so was a cool part of the museum and certainly a neat piece for somebody to be able to buy now.
Yeah.
And next to it, we have some more of these, classic era. This is a 12-cylinder Victoria, gorgeous color combination. The twin six, which would be back there in the teens, and of course they more potentially accurately called it the 12 because some people are thinking, well, is that like a 6-cylinder? No, this is a 12. And so Packard going to the actual 12. This car is a very comfortable, smooth, and enjoyable car to drive. Of course, top-down motoring fun. Oh, wait. Is this no reserve as well? It is.
Yes.
Fantastic. And, of course, Mr. Stone wanted to have the most unique Packard collection. And so if we've seen, obviously, one-off twin sixes, 1909 Roadsters, some other special twin sixes, 12 cylinders of the late 30s. This car right here is an exceedingly rare Packard.
Wow.
And this is a flower car. So this would be something that would have been used when you would be having a processional. And so you would be able to honor someone by having a whole lot of flowers.
Wow.
And there are very few of these. This was a custom coach built by Henny. A lot of car folks, of course, are familiar with that name. And you just never see things like this.
Right.
And so if you want rare or you want the only one, this is a great piece. And then, of
Wow.
course, all by itself, another classic era 4-door open car with outstanding colors. And these cars, if you're thinking, hey, let's maybe two couples, or maybe got some kids, you can pile everybody in and go for a drive. My wife Abby and our 2 kids, we do that a lot, and we do it often in a 1938 Packard. So we love Packards, and they're tremendous, usable cars, not just to sit and look at, but you can actually use them.
And that's what I was going to say, is that's what's so cool about these cars, is that you can actually take them wherever you want. To the grocery store if you want. You can drive and use them. It doesn't just have to sit in your garage.
100%. And I'm a huge fan of cars that are used. And you can drive really nice cars, but they're still made to be driven. They want to be driven. It's an experience. Everyone's a little different. It's great.
What's it feel like driving a Packard compared to today's modern cars?
Well, the first thing is you actually have to drive it.
Okay,
right?
no cruise
today,
control.
There's no cruise control. Of course, I guess since my last name's Kruse, I'm sort of
Cruising?
always on cruise control when I'm driving.
Oh.
Not really very funny, but I think it's hilarious. But you have to drive it. It's a manual transmission, so you're actually shifting, clutching, all that kind of stuff. So it is an experience. But the luxurious, smooth, it's quiet. and Packard is known for those things. And when you are out and about, you know, sometimes you hear loud cars or they're uncomfortable or tough. It's not like that. It's very smooth and comfortable, and it's enjoyable while you're still getting to participate. It's great. We will get you in a Packard and you can experience that.
Ooh, okay. I like that. All right, what else we got here?
So as we kind of roll through, again, the museum had a car from just about every single year. And you can see as we're kind of going through the 20s, this one here in the 30s, jump back to the 20s a little bit. And Packard actually continued after World War II and made some cars. A lot of folks love the Caribbean for its neat color combinations. Of course, 50s convertibles, also fun, comfortable. And then the 1950, this car is kind of a little bit of a bridge, right? You kind of had your pre-war cars into then your later 50s cars. So you can see styling cues from both. And it's interesting, the design and the development of a car manufacturer. You can imagine coming out of World War II, they're like, well, this is what we were doing, and now what are we going to do now?
Right.
And it's neat to be able to see that transition. But I'll tell you what, we talked about a few minutes ago, my, I think, favorite part of this are, I call it fun and funky, but it's unique. You almost never see them. And that is these three pieces over here. One is the fire truck. As you can see here, Packard Proving Grounds. So this is a shorter wheelbase, smaller fire truck. Lots of fire trucks are huge and you can't even fit them in your garage. This one you can, which makes it a little more convenient, a little easier. But there's a lot of fire truck manufacturers that had them, but you almost never see a Packard fire truck. This is a neat opportunity for collectors, and it's got all the stuff that you might think might have a deal. You just kind of walk over here. We even have, make sure everybody knows we're coming.
All right.
Got the bells, we got the hats, the hoses. So this would be a blast to take in a parade or certainly have in your garage.
Right. I think you would be all the kids in your neighborhood's favorite person.
Oh,
to
no
just drive
question.
this around the neighborhood.
No question. And if you want to make sure your neighborhood is staying calm, you could, of course, hop over to the paddy wagon.
Love it.
Now, Mr. Stone believed that this actual unit was used back in the day by the Fort Lauderdale, Florida Police Department. And so that's kind of a neat story that he had going with this car, and it's pretty cool. But my favorite, I mentioned to you, is right here. I've never seen another one. A Packard tow truck.
So cool.
It's just incredible. And certainly you could leave it like it is, or you might want to put your name on it.
Hey.
And we could have the Melissa Motor Company.
Love it.
Or whatnot. So this is something that, yes, you can buy it. You get a piece of history because of the museum and Mr. Stone, but you can also put your own personal stamp on a lot of these cars, especially this one, very easily. And they're all selling absolute no reserve, the highest bidder, regardless of price.
Yes.
And you can come to the auction, or you can bid online or on the phone still right now.
Awesome. John, thank you so much for showing us all of these amazing Packards. You can own a piece of history. Love it. Wow, what amazing items. They're so cool, and you have a chance to take home, whether it be a car or automobile, so don't miss out on your chance. Register to be a bidder now. Remember, the auction starts at noon Eastern with memorabilia, and then at 4 p.m. for the automobiles. And there's still time to join us here in Auburn. So whether you're online or coming here in person to experience the cars and memorabilia for yourself, we hope to see you. Thank you for watching Worldwide TV, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for the rest of the auction.